there are ways you can introduce that color which you love so much in a very subtle way without feeling overwhelmed. That's one way to add your personality to the space. If you're someone that you travel a lot and you buy pieces from those countries that you visit, you can always get one or two things and have them on display in your house. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing 7 tips on how to style up a small space without compromising functionality and aesthetics. If you have not watched the previous 7 tips I shared, when you finish watching this video, the link will be in the description box or you're gonna see it pop on the screen here. Do well to watch that one because I shared 7. So imagine adding 7 plus 7 again, that's 14, and there is more where this came from. So if this is the kind of video you want to watch today, please hit that like button and subscribe, and let's go straight into the video. My first tip today would be introduce floating shelves and desk in your space. Let's say for instance you have a room that is so tiny but you need a reading desk even with a bed. You can always get a floating desk. When you're not using that desk, you collapse it, and then when you're using it, you open it up and use it, and so it does not obstruct movement in the room. Yeah, when you're not using it, the room feels airy again. Okay, now you can also introduce floating shelves like floating TV cabinet, floating decorative shelves, floating shelves that you use to display decor pieces. If I'm styling a living room and that living room is so small, and one of the goals I want to achieve in that space is to make that space feel bigger, I'm not going to be using a ladder shelf. I would definitely go for floating shelves because ladder shelves will draw your eyes all the way to the down part where we have the decor pieces displayed. If you just have floating shelves and you display your decor pieces, that will draw the eyes upwards. We have no business looking downwards, if that makes sense. This does not mean that ladder shelves do not work in small spaces. They do, but it depends on what your priorities are in that space. So if you want to make that space feel bigger, bear in mind that when you introduce a ladder shelf, you are going to end up making that space feel crammed up with the decor pieces. But if you do not care about that, then by all means, they always look very beautiful in any space at all. Now, this takes us to the second point, which is use clear or acrylic furniture. Clear furniture could be glass table. If I'm styling a space and I've introduced the sofa, the accent chairs, whatever it is I've introduced into that space, all the furniture, and then I'm left with a coffee table, I would definitely want to choose a glass coffee table. Now, because glass is see-through, and when looking at the glass table in that living room, it practically disappears visually because it's a glass, except you have some pieces on top. Even if you have some pieces on top, like, it's not going to look so cluttered, unlike when you're not using a glass table. Same goes to side table. You can choose to do glass side table just because you want to free up that space. Lucite and acrylic piece practically disappears visually. Now, my next point would be invest in good lighting. I think this is like the opting time we're going to be saying this, and I'm not going to be tired of saying it. Good lighting is everything. You invest in floor lamps, table lamps, wall sconces, and even downlights. Now, what I'm going to be telling you about a small space, if I have a small space and I'm like a very small space and I'm supposed to layer my lighting, I might just go for floor lamp instead of a table lamp. I'll tell you why. So if I'm supposed to go for a table lamp,
okay, wait.
That means I have to bring in a side table where I can mount my table lamp. But if I choose to go for floor lamp, I'll just end up having that floor lamp without the need for a side table. So this just tells you that floor lamp would work better in a small space. You can also go for wall sconces, which is a wall light, and downlight. So these are ways you can introduce or you can layer your lighting in a space. So my dear sisters and brothers, light it up. Good lighting can make even the smallest space feel warm and inviting. Layer your lighting for that extra depth. If you want your space to feel big, or if you live in the UK and you want to have the illusion of high ceiling, make sure you go tall with your curtains. I'm gonna say this here, and honestly, this is how I feel. Why do we still have short curtains in the market?
Yeah, you for talk since now.
Because I do not care if your space is big or small. If you have the biggest space or the smallest space, Short curtains just don't fit in anywhere to my own knowledge. Why do we still have short curtains in the market? It just doesn't make sense. Even in kids' rooms, some people will say, oh, because we have radiator, so the curtains have to be short. No, you don't have to do short curtains. There are so many ways to style up or to dress a window that has radiator without compromising aesthetics and functionality. So why do you need short curtains? I do not like short curtains. They cringe my life away. I'm sorry, this is just how I feel. So I just would never see the need for short curtains. But again, it works for some people, right? You don't have to do what Didi says you should do. But this is just my personal feeling towards short curtains. I would never ever do them, except the house is like a hut, whereby I know that if I hang the short curtains, it will still go to the floor, all the way to the floor. Then by all means, I'll buy that. But for even the UK houses that are just 2.4 meters, why do I need a short curtain when I should even be creating that high ceiling illusion with my curtains all the way to the ceiling? That being said, hang your curtains high. Okay, if you're confused on how to hang your curtains high, then by all means do wave curtains. You know, the wave curtains come with tracks, and those tracks definitely have to go, those tracks have to go all the way to the ceiling. So when you have the tracks all the way to the ceiling, you have no choice than to hang your curtains all the way from the ceiling down to the floor. So if you're confused on how to use other types of curtains, which is eyelet and other, the types of, curtains, just do wave curtains. Wave curtains can be a bit pricey, but if you have the budget, by all means do it. If not, make sure you hang your curtains all the way up, because it automatically gives the illusion of taller walls and more space. So by all means, make sure your curtains are hung from top to bottom. Now, my next point will be add personality to your space. Whether your space is small or big, you have to add personality to your space. I do not believe in going to Pinterest to just copy a design and reproduce it in your space. What makes that home Didi's home? You need to come into my space to feel me. You need to come into my space to feel that, okay, this is who Didi is. This is what we tell our clients. When we approach clients for the first time, we want to understand you. We want to understand your personality so that we can infuse your personality into that space. There's so many ways to go about infusing your personality into a space. I'm not sure this video is meant for that, but I would give you one example. So if you're someone that you like a particular color, right? And even if you want to go neutral in that space, there are ways you can introduce that color which you love so much in a very subtle way without feeling overwhelmed. That's one way to add your personality to this space. If you travel a lot, if you're someone that you travel a lot and you buy pieces from those countries that you visit, you can always get one or two things and have them on display in your house. That's another way to add personality to your space. That's why you see sometimes when we do client houses, we ask them for their pictures, especially for those of them that are family oriented. We ask for their pictures so we can use it to create a gallery wall. That's one way we add personality to their spaces. There are so many ways to add personality to your space, but just make sure that after copying a design from anywhere, make sure you make it yours. Even in a tiny room, you can showcase your personality with arts, textiles, and small personal touches. My next point will be stick to a cohesive color scheme. Keep it cohesive. A consistent color palette keeps the space from feeling chaotic and helps it feel larger. I think I said this, I mentioned this in my previous video where I said if you have a space, rather than painting the wall one color and using up maybe another color of cotton, because that eventually breaks up the space, you can paint the wall one color. Let's say for instance you paint white and you choose to do white curtains. The space flows and then feels even more open and bigger, so you don't even know where the window stops from where the wall continues. If you have a small space, what I would always advise is whatever paint you paint in your living room, bring it all the way to the entryway, if possible all the way upstairs. So just consistently using the same paint color across your house would help open up that space and make it feel bigger than it is. My next and final point will be fold it away. So all this furniture that when you're done using them, you fold them away. They don't have a permanent place in your house. maybe you might consider using that in a small space in a studio apartment, because collapsible furniture is a lifesaver. You pull it out when you need it and you tuck it away when you don't. So if you have a foldable table, you can pull it out when you're done using, you tuck it away. You have the Murphy bed, you pull it out, you use it. When you're done, you fold it and take it away. Same goes to wall mounted desk. When you're not using it, you collapse it and that space is freed up. So collapsible furniture is absolutely a lifesaver. I hope you guys have enjoyed these extra 7 tips on how to style up a space to make it cozy and functional. And yeah, I want to know which one you're going to be trying in your space. You know how we do it here. Let me know what you're going to be trying out in your space. Do you have a small space? What is your greatest challenge in that space? If you guys have a topic you want me to discuss in subsequent videos, feel free to drop in the comment section. I would really appreciate it. And I hope you guys are enjoying all the tips I've been sharing so far. Please also let me know that you're enjoying it in the comment section, because that will also encourage me to create more. So these tips will always help you in a very small space. I want to believe that you know where to contact us if you feel you need to hear from us or you have a project. Please send us an email on this email on the screen, or you look for it in our description box. It's always there in the description box. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. I'm on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram. Yes, and I will be looking forward to hearing from you guys. I love reading from you guys. Please don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. I will see you in my next video. Stay fabulous. Bye.